Well, good morning. Today is Wednesday, December 16th. It is cold. It is really cold. My lips are all chapped. The wind is really biting, so I'm not sure how much you're actually hearing, so I might be doing some of this over. I didn't want to have to stand outside and do it. That's how cold it is. It's 16. But it's a colder 16 than it was yesterday because there's no sun. You can see crappy skies. But we have a birthday today for a special little boy. I think he's 11 today. Oliver, over at Chit Chat Paddywhack, today's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Oliver. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, you make sure your grandma treats you like a king today, because today's your birthday. It's also, well, I know it's Mama Lou's birthday. So Mama Lou, you get a song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mama Lou. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And it's Lori. How can I forget? Lori Sample's birthday. I gotta get a stick. Makes it easier when you're walking, I guess. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lori. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. That's a tree that refuses to admit it lives in Michigan. It's hanging onto those leaves for dear life. It's kind of hard to walk when you're cold and talk. Walk and talk and cold. But anyway, like I said at the beginning of my video, my little quote, I love my quotes. You have to do this every day, whether you feel like it or not. Yeah, not just walk, but your food choices, everything you do in life. Sometimes you just don't feel like doing it, but it's the right thing to do and you got to do it. So, we went to the warehouse, as Denise calls it, BJ's the other day, and I love their chocolate chip cookies, and Jim puts them in the basket. And I have to admit, they've been tempting me. I know it's considered a store-bought cookie, but no, it's really a bakery cookie. So it's not in the classification of a store-bought cookie. And I was so tempted to have one last night. And then I looked it up, and it was 9 points for one cookie. And I thought, no. So I got a big glass of water instead. And I'm happy with my choice. Because, you know what? Especially this time of year, you're going to be tempted by, like, I got to make my fudge today. And I love my fudge. But, you know, people make cookies and things. I know we're not going to go to as many parties and things like that. But you're the one that's choosing what you're going to put in your mouth. And you can decide if it's worth it or not. And if you think it's worth it, don't feel any guilt, because it's not worth having a guilty feeling. It really isn't. Christmas comes but once a year. Just don't pack on the pounds as an excuse. Enjoy that favorite Christmas cookie or fruit cake or whatever it is. Enjoy it. Just don't eat it in excess. And then move on. I do have a story for you, but it's too cold out here to tell you it, so I will tell you it in a little while. It'll be a quick second for you. A quick second for you, but not for me. I'm going to go warm up, so I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Well, for breakfast, we're going to have some sausage and waffles and some berries and my tea. So today is Wednesday, December 16th. My quote is, no one expects you to be perfect. Enjoy life, make smart choices, but always remember you are the one in control of your choices. It's a 9-point breakfast, 5 points for my waffles, 1 point for my sugar-free syrup, 3 points for my sausages, and 0 for my egg, banana, berries, and tea. 9 points, 14 points left for dinner and lunch. We gotta turn the Christmas music off or we'll get copyright infringement here. But anyway, it's snowing. It's just snow flurrying. It was snow flurrying when I was walking. But was rattling too much in the car. So I wanted to spare you of all that nonsense, that noise. I figured out how to get it in there. I guess I started off pretty good. It was until I adjusted you guys that I threw it off whack. But anyway, my story is, let me think. Oh, it was a continuation of yesterday. I almost forgot. After Jim had wrecked the car, which he had sold to his sister Barb, he went and bought a car because I was going to get a car anyhow because he went back to the service. He was just home on leave during the time that happened. And my father actually bought me a car. It was a 61 Plymouth with a push-button transmission. It was automatic, but it was a push-button transmission. And one day at college, somebody had tried to break into the car, and they broke my driver's side window. And I didn't have enough money to buy a new window, so I just saran wrapped the window. It was winter. It was cold, but I had the heat kicking when I was going, so you could see through the saran wrap. It looked sad. The car was a sad-looking car anyhow, but it got me to where I wanted. It got me from point A to point B. When I was going to college, I was taking 3 buses, and so I was happy to have a car no matter what it looked like to get me to school in one shot, not have to worry about standing on the corner. Standing on the corner, watching all the boys, watching all the boys, watching all the boys go by. Although I was watching all the cars go by thinking I wish I had a car. But, so anyway, I had this car, and then Jim was home on leave, and he was going out with his friends, and so he didn't need a car because Barb wasn't going to let him use his car, and Jim's dad never let anybody drive his car. So he was out riding around with his friends, and I went to work, and then we were going to meet at his house after I got off of work. So when I got off of work, I went over there, and there was these police cars all over the place, and I couldn't figure out what they were doing there. And I just walked into the house, because I always just walked into the house, because I had been going with Jim long enough that I didn't have to knock on the door or anything. And I walked in the house, and there's a policeman was in there, and he says, "What are you doing in here? Do you live here?" And I went, "No." And he said, "You don't live here?" And so then I said, "No, but this is my boyfriend's house." And he says, "Well, you can't be in here. This is a crime scene." And I went, "A crime scene?" He says, "Go outside." So I go outside, and Jim's sister Barb was standing out in the lawn. She says, were you in my house? And I said, "Yeah." And she says, "Well, you're the one that scared me." And I go, "I just walked in your house." She says, "There was somebody in the window. They're in the house searching right now to see who's in the house." And I go, "Well, I don't know. I just walked in." She says, "They won't even let me in the house. They let you in the house." They let me in the house. I can't tell you. I don't know what to tell you. They let me in the house. So they determined it was the dog. They had just got a dog a couple weeks before, and he was peeking out the window. Or she was, Mitzi. And so it was just funny because to this day we still make fun of her. If she thinks that there's an intruder, we go, maybe Mitzi's coming back to haunt you. But so anyway, didn't think nothing of it. Jim got done running around with his friends. He dropped me off. Or he come back to the house, and we drove around a little bit, did a little parking. And when then we went home, he dropped me off home because he was going to take the car home. And probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, the phone rings, and my mother yells to me, she says, "Jim's on the phone. Come and see what he wants." Well, we weren't allowed to get phone calls after 10 o'clock. So, I mean, my mother was pissed that Jim was calling, like in the middle of the night even. Oh, look, my lights are coming on. And so I got on the phone, and Jim said, "You need to come over here because the police have some questions to ask you, but my dad's going to come and pick you up." And I went, "Okay." So I'm thinking it was related to the break-in, and I'm thinking this couldn't wait till morning. I don't know what the deal is. And so Jim's dad came, picked me up, didn't say anything. We were driving. We almost got home, and he said, "Now I want you to be prepared because your car is up on the Kanskys' porch." The Kanskys were his next-door neighbors. I go, "My car is on the Kanskys' porch." He said, "Yeah, somebody was driving too fast. They were drunk. They hit your car. They rammed it, and they just totaled your car. And it's sitting up on the porch, but we don't have any, you didn't give Jim any registration or anything to prove that it's his, like he has ownership of the car or anything. And the police won't let the tow people take it away until they can verify who the owner is." So I pull up, and my car was just demolished. I mean, it was a sad-looking piece of car anyhow, but it was like, oh my gosh, my car, it was totaled. It was completely totaled. And then Jim was like, "I'm so sorry. I just parked it in front of the house. I should have parked it in the driveway, but I didn't think anything. I parked it in the street." And I said, "Well, that's okay," because I knew his dad had to go to work in the morning. Then I guess, but I thought, well, I only have insurance on the other guy, because it was an old piece of car. It wasn't a piece of crap. I mean, it got me to school. That was all it really was good for, because it was not it was always cold because I didn't have the window, and sometimes the buttons would stick and you couldn't get it into gear. But I mean, it was my first car. So the other guy was found at fault, so I got a settlement for the car, and I was able to use it as a down payment on my car that I really liked then. I got a 67 yellow Camaro with bucket seats, with the automatic on the floor because it was between the seats. It was a gorgeous car. And I thought, I don't know that I want Jim to drive my car because this is 2 cars on 2 leaves. It was a hard press to let him. I never let him take it home. Because after that, I mean, I would let him drive it when he was home, but it was like on leave. But I thought, you're not taking my car back to your house. So anyway, I have more car stories. I know sometimes I think that's hard to believe, but I've lived 70 years. There's a lot of car stories in my past. But anyway, so I got all my running around done. Oh, when I was at Kohl's waiting for them to come out with my stuff, I had a major anxiety attack. Almost to the point that I thought I couldn't breathe. I was so scared. I haven't had one that bad in so long. I have I don't know why I have them, but I have probably at least 2 a month. They're pretty minor. And I usually gauge them on on a scale. I've told you a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, this one was a 10. I don't know where it came from. I was just sitting there listening to Christmas music, waiting for it. It just comes out of nowhere. I don't know why. Maybe I was thinking about something. I don't know. I think because I thought I got to get here at this time. I got to get there because my pickups were timed as far as when I was supposed to pick them up. But I don't know. It was just sat there and gauged it as a 10. Got my rosary out, which is my hand. And just started saying my prayers, and then they brought my stuff out. I popped my trunk, they put it in the trunk, and I just sat there for a couple minutes till I calmed down, and then I was fine. It just, as quick as it came, that's how quick it went away. So I went to Kroger's and sat there, and no problem. I did go to the post office, but it's late, so I'm going to just post that video tomorrow, because I did have some. I'm glad I went back because I had another package that I had to get, and I was able to pull right in front. I was in the front row, got right up to the front, and I think I had 2 people ahead of me in line, so I was in and out of there pretty quick. But now I got to think about dinner, and you know what? I'm not really hungry. I'm just really not hungry, and I know I should probably put something in the oven to eat because I know that in a couple hours I'm going to be hungry. But I'm supposed to have a piece of baked chicken with some sweet potato and some vegetables with it. Just not feeling it, so I don't know. We'll see what I have. We'll be surprised together. How's that sound? Okay, talk to you guys at dinner whenever I decide what I'm going to have. I can tell you right now it's not going to be chicken. We'll see what it is. Well, I told you I wasn't going to have chicken, but guess what? I didn't feel like a sandwich, so I made some stir-fried chicken with some rice. I'm going to have a sugar-free pudding and my Starbucks knockoff iced tea lemonade. It's a 9-point dinner, 0 for my chicken stir-fry, which is my chicken, green peppers, red peppers, onions, some rotel tomatoes, mushrooms. I think that's it. My lemonade, and 5 points for my Spanish rice. I have 125 grams. 2 points for my sugar-free pudding, and 2 points for my 1/4 cup of cheese that I put on top. So I still have 5 points left. I might have some nuts later on. Okay, I'm going to end it now. I'm glad I decided on doing the stir-fried chicken because it was better than the egg salad sandwich I was planning on having 2 hours before I actually ate dinner. But as always, stay safe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.